They call it job seeking, but in South Africa, as we stand here in 2026, we know that's a polite lie. It's not just seeking. It's a psychological siege. It's the silent, 3 a.m. panic when you realize your degree is hanging on the wall while your bank account is hitting zero. It's the ghost in the room, that heavy, crushing anxiety that tells you that because you don't have a role, you don't have a value. But what if I told you that the knot in your stomach isn't a sign that you're failing, but a sign that your brain is reacting normally to an abnormal system? In today's video, we aren't just going to talk about resumes and LinkedIn. We're going deeper. We're going to look at the unemployment life cycle and why your emotional energy feels like it's zigzagging into the ground. We're going to talk about reclaiming your agency, not by learning some new trick, but by standing in the expertise you already fought for. You aren't just another application in a pile. It's time to stop being a supplicant and start being the professional you already are. Let's get into it. Are you in South Africa, staring down 2026, and wondering why job searching feels like an emotional marathon? You're not alone. The constant rejections, the silence after applications, the crushing weight of uncertainty, it's a unique psychological battle. This video will explore why it feels this way and, more importantly, how you can find your internal compass to navigate the toughest parts. It's January 2026. We were told things would be different by now. We've seen the headlines about the new economy, the tech hubs, and the green energy shifts across Mpumalanga and the Northern Cape. But for many of us, the ground beneath our feet feels as shaky as ever. In South Africa, unemployment isn't just a statistic you read in a quarterly labor force survey. It's a lived, breathing anxiety. It's the knot in your stomach when you check your email at 3 a.m. It's the way your heart sinks when a friend asks, "So, any news yet?" Today, we aren't just talking about how to fix your CV. We are talking about how to fix the psychological drain. We're going to dissect the emotional rollercoaster from that first burst of optimism to the heavy despondency that sets in after month 6 or month 12. Most importantly, we're going to build a survival kit for your mind. Let's look at the cycle. Psychologists call it the unemployment life cycle, but in the South African context, it has its own unique flavor. Phase 1 is the optimism spike. You've finished your degree, or maybe you've just left a job. You have your references, your LinkedIn is polished, and you feel ready. You think, I just need one person to say yes. Phase 2 is the static period. This is the 2026 phenomenon. You apply for 50 jobs. You're qualified for 40 of them. But in this digital-first landscape, you aren't being rejected by humans, you're being filtered out by AI bots before a human ever sees your name. The silence is deafening. This is where a search fatigue starts. Phase 3 is the descent into despondency. This is where the anxiety turns into something heavier. You start to question your worth. In our culture, your identity is often tied to what you do. When you aren't doing anything in the traditional sense, you feel like you are disappearing. Why is this harder in 2026? Because we are hyper-connected. You scroll through TikTok or Instagram and see people your age starting businesses or hustling successfully. It creates a comparison trap that makes your situation feel like a personal failure rather than a systemic challenge. We need to name what we're feeling. It's not just stress. It's chronic uncertainty. Human brains are hardwired to prefer a negative outcome over an uncertain one. We would almost rather be told a note immediately than wait weeks for an answer that never comes. This state of limbo keeps your nervous system in a constant state of fight or flight. Your cortisol levels are permanently spiked. This leads to brain fog, making it even harder to write those cover letters or perform in interviews. In South Africa, we also deal with secondary trauma. You might be the hope of your family. The pressure of being the one who is supposed to lift the household out of poverty adds a layer of survivor's guilt or the breadwinner's anxiety. Look at this diagram. When your basic needs, housing, food, data for internet access, are at risk, you cannot move up the pyramid to self-actualization. You are stuck in survival mode. If you find yourself unable to concentrate, or feeling uncharacteristically angry or numb, please understand, your brain is reacting normally to an abnormal situation. You are not broken, you are under siege. Here are some strategies to use in building your internal compass. Strategy 1. Reclaiming agency. Instead of saying, "I'm going to find a job today," try saying, "For the next 45 minutes, I am going to prove to myself my own worth by standing in my expertise." This isn't about learning a new trick, it's about taking the qualifications you've already fought for and putting them into motion. You do not have to wait for a company to give you a title. You have earned the accountant, public service administrator or data analyst title when you graduated. If you studied medicine or health sciences, don't just wait for a placement. Spend those 45 minutes deep diving into the latest South African clinical protocols or summarizing a complex health case study. Remind yourself that you still possess the diagnostic mind that earned that white coat. If you are in law, stop waiting for the firm to call. Take a recent High Court judgment from the last month and write a 500-word brief on its implications for your specific field. You are a legal mind, use this time to sharpen your blade. If you are in tech, don't just scroll LinkedIn. Go back to a project you built 2 years ago and refactor the code using the advanced standards you know now. Prove to yourself that your senior or professional's title isn't just a label on a CV, it's a living skill. When you do this, you stop being a supplicant awaiting for a yes. You become a professional who is simply between projects. You are documenting the value you already bring to the table. In the 2026 South African market, reclaiming agency means shifting from being a job seeker to a value creator. This is about your proof of work. Instead of just sending a CV, can you send a link to a small project you completed? If you're in marketing, show a small campaign you ran for a local NGO. If you're in IT, show a repository of code. This shift from awaiting to doing lowers your cortisol levels because it gives your brain a tangible win every single day. Strategy 2. The digital detox for job seekers. We spoke about the comparison trap on social media. In 2026, your feed is likely flooded with hustle culture that makes your struggle feel like a personal failure. To build your internal compass, you need to mute the noise. Set strict boundaries for LinkedIn and TikTok. Use them as tools, not as mirrors for your self-worth. Your value is not determined by an algorithm's feed or an AI bot's filter. Strategy 3. Building a mutual support pod. In South Africa, we have a deep history of collective resilience. Don't job search in a vacuum. Find 3 other people in your field who are also searching. Meet once a week, digitally or in person, to share leads, review each other's CVs, and most importantly, to remind each other that silence is systemic, not personal. This breaks the cycle of secondary trauma and breadwinners' anxieties by sharing the emotional load. As we close this out, I want you to remember one thing: unemployed is a status, not an identity. The static period you are in right now is a transition, not a destination. Look, I know that none of this is brand new information. Deep down, you already know your worth, you know your expertise, and you know exactly what you're capable of achieving on your own. But in a world that constantly tries to make you forget that, we all need a reminder. If you want to keep getting these kinds of gut checks and psychological resets on your feed at absolutely zero cost to you, then hit that like button and subscribe to Interview Insider. We're building a space for real job search support right here in South Africa. You've got the skills, we're just here to help you keep them sharp. I'll see you in the next one.